emergency approval to land. Approval was given to land on runway 2 at John Tune Airport. The pilot then radioed that the aircraft was not going to make it. The aircraft has crashed behind the Costco store just off the eastbound lanes of I-40. This is a single-engine aircraft that had several persons on board. It appears that everyone on board perished. At this moment, I can tell you there were, again, several individuals on board. The exact number will need to be determined once we can actually get into the wreckage and do some more exploration into the wreckage. At this moment, we are working with federal authorities to determine from where the plane originated. At this moment, we do not know that. According to witnesses, the plane was coming over the I-40 area from the north and then crossed over the lanes of the interstate and then crashed there just behind the Costco on a grassy median of I-40. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board will be conducting the investigation into why the plane went down, the circumstances surrounding the crash. Neither of those entities is on scene at this moment. The Nashville Police Department, the Nashville Fire Department is on the scene, along with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, the Nashville International Airport Police, and the scene is being stabilized until federal authorities arrive. Kendra Loney from the Nashville Fire Department will talk about her agency's immediate response as they arrived on the scene.
The Nashville Fire Department was dispatched to the crash site immediately, as there were several witnesses who saw the plane crash in that median area that Don described. When the crash did go down, it did, as witnesses described, implode on impact. That impact was catastrophic and did not leave any survivors. When our crews arrived on scene, they were met with heavy flames and fire, smoke in the area showing from that crash site. They were able to extinguish that fire and also preserve the evidence from that scene so that the appropriate agencies can come and investigate what led to this deadly crash. We are saddened by the loss of souls that were on board, but we are proud of the work that everyone is doing to stabilize this incident and to make sure that there were no additional casualties that came from that. There were some bits of the crash sites that did kind of scatter around the scene, but crews were able to quickly gather those pieces so that there were no additional injuries from people that might be passing by on the interstate, and quickly set aside the scene to make sure that it was safe for everybody that was passing by. The interstate is shut down at this time for investigations that are going to be ongoing for quite some time, and it might be opening up here in some capacity, but people can expect delays in the area.
Again, the FAA and NTSB will be conducting this investigation. Neither of those entities is on the scene at this point. I believe the FAA will arrive at some time during the night. The NTSB may be a little bit longer. Are there any questions?
Were there any vehicles caught in this crash?
No vehicles were damaged. And I guess we are fortunate that the aircraft did not hit any buildings as it went down. It is just behind the rear of the Costco store.
So you said multiple people, but you don't know the number yet?
Multiple people have perished, and our hearts go out to those individuals and their families. We don't know who those persons are at this point, nor do we have an exact count of fatalities. Understand that, as Kendra described the scene, the plane burst into flames. The fire department had to put the flames out, and we need to go through the wreckage to determine how many persons were on board. There were several persons on board, but the total confirmed number I don't have at this point.
If you said this, I apologize. Do we know where the aircraft took off from?
No, we are working now with federal authorities to determine from where the plane originated. whether there was a flight plan or anything such as that. Obviously, that's something the FAA and NTSB will be getting into in more detail. I just don't have that information at this juncture. And we looked for a tail number on the aircraft, and we don't see a tail number on the aircraft in the wreckage as it currently sits.
How was it discovered that the plane was having issues? Did the pilot give out a mayday call?
Yes.
Okay. Did he give
As
any
I described
indication?
initially, yes.
Okay. Did he give any indication of what was occurring, or just that they were not going to be able to land?
As I said earlier, the plane, according to the pilot, the plane was experiencing engine and power issues.
How long was it between when the plane initially made that mayday call and the plane crashed?
Well, it was around 7:40 that the tower received the call, and I think the first emergency response call to the emergency communications center was 7:44, so it was a very short period of time.
Are there indications that he tried to set it down on the interstate, or is it just that he crashed on his way to Tune?
Well, according to some witness information, their plane was obviously in distress as it was coming over the interstate right before it hit the ground. And again, Jimmy, coming in from the north, from a northerly direction to the south, he hadn't lined up as far as the interstate was concerned. I think he was having significant issues keeping the aircraft under control.
Can you confirm it was a male pilot?
I don't know that. I haven't heard the tapes.
Are
All right.
there any indications whether he may have hit cell phone towers, poles, things like that? Because there are some of those in this area also.
No indications that anything else was struck. All right. Thank you all.